And joining me now is a very, very special guest. I am the only preacher in America that could say I did the Apollo stage with her. MSNBC's own Rachel Maddow. She's here to make some sense out of some of the news of the day and her most recent. First, let's start with the breaking headlines of today. The administration has fired at least 4,000 federal employees during this government shutdown. A former senior official said the CDC cuts wipe out entire offices that investigate disease outbreaks and manage infectious disease responses. Today, Vice President J.D. Vance was on the Sunday shows saying government shutdowns inevitably lead to some chaos and there was nothing we could do. But
performative show over the fact that they need Democrats for nothing, and if Democrats want to do anything, that by definition means that that's something that they don't want to do and they won't consent to. So, I mean, this is a project of their own making. And you know, Rev, you and I have both covered and both experienced shutdowns under presidents of both parties,
right,
under Congress being in control of both parties. But I mean, what Chairwoman Clark just said there is exactly right. Like, think about how familiar this feels. Didn't we just see all these headlines about firing thousands of government workers? Didn't we just see other headlines about firing people at the CDC, or firing people at Social Security, or firing people at the IRS, or firing people at the Veterans Administration? Yes, what's different is that this is a Republican Party, this is a Trump administration that revels in the destruction of the government. Whether it's DOJ, whether it's through this shutdown, whether it's through a Russell vote, whether it's any way they can, they are doing everything they can to destroy this government. And so, yeah, we've had shutdowns before, but we've never had one before where they have no interest in the shutdown ending. They want to use it to break the government and to destroy the government as best they can through any means at their disposal.
And rehire people, they say, that agrees with the president's program.
Yeah.
You know, Trump is on a retribution tour. Just last week, his Justice Department brought charges against New York Attorney General Letitia James, I just mentioned, for alleged mortgage fraud. Each month, he indicted FBI Director James Comey. The list of other potential targets is long, including some of his own former advisors like John Bolton and elected Democrats like Congressman Adam Schiff, just to name a few. If he continues down this list with these charges, how does this end?
I'd turn it back around, actually. I'm interested to know your answer to this, Rev, because, I mean, you've seen government retribution in action in a lot of different ways over the course of your career. And I'm interested to hear what you say. I mean, I think that the most obvious answer is probably the real one, which is that they want to make it your family and your career and your livelihood and your reputation. And I think that's all it is. And I think that they don't have anybody holding them back, and so they're going to do it as long as they can and as much as they can. What do you think?
No, I agree. I think they will do it as long as they can until they realize that it backfires and they're really creating martyrs. I think that they will end up making people like Tish James and others much more powerful and influential than they thought they were. Because every time I've seen them do this in the past, me growing up in the civil rights movement, they ended up making people more significant than they thought they were reducing. But it costs people to do it. It's not a walk through the garden for those that are targeted, and I've been there. It's something you have to be strong enough, and as Tish James said, fearless. But you have to know at the end of it is going to end up helping the cause that you stand for.
I was struck by the fact that I saw a headline about this. I haven't looked into it myself, but I have seen it reported that Tish James had never had a fundraising day in her life in public office like she did when Trump indicted her.
No, she's never been a great fundraiser. She's a great vote getter, a great leader. But that's what happens. He's going to end up being the best thing that happened to some people that picked with the wrong people.
It's going to be a unifying thing, too, because I think that even people who are soft supporters of Trump, who may like some things that he's doing and not others, it's so obvious that this is not the way the American rule of law is supposed to function. This is not the way the U.S. justice system is supposed to work. Anybody who sees all these U.S. attorneys getting fired and resigning and stepping out, having to bring in some insurance lawyer from the mid-level ranks of the White House who've never prosecuted a case before to learn on the job about how to bring an indictment. I mean, I think any adult who understands about how the American rule of law works knows that this is wrong. And I think that this will cost him soft support, even if his fanatical supporters would follow him into hell.
And no one's a better example than Martin Luther King. Dr. King was indicted for income tax, accused of stealing money from his organization. He ends up with a national holiday, and we couldn't name any of those prosecutors that were used.